I think that nowadays action just can't be things that are exploding and blowing up and guns and all that stuff. You have to have real characters with real arcs. You have to have humor. You have to have something for everyone. Because there's so much entertainment out there that why go see this movie and not the other one? So I believe that The Last Stand has all of those elements. We worked really hard for that, and we have some great actors in there. We have Arnold Schwarzenegger, Johnny Knoxville, Louis Guzman, Zach Gilford, Forrest Whitaker. I could go on and on and on. But yeah, I believe you have to have a marriage of different genres into one. I don't think action is just one-dimensional anymore. Well, firstly, my agents called and said, we have a script that you need to read because this is you. And I said, oh, okay. You know, sometimes I'm afraid of what they're talking about, you know, and then I read the script and I said, this is an amazing script. And then they briefed me on the director and I said, no, I've heard of him. I Saw the Devil. That's the guy who did I Saw the Devil. And I was very excited about that. And then they told me Arnold Schwarzenegger was going to be the leading man. And my like childhood geek inside of myself was like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. And all four of my brothers were completely stoked about it as well. So that, I mean, that was just such an amazing feeling when I heard that I could be a part of this. I play Officer Sarah Torrance, who is a very straight-laced citizen. She puts others ahead of herself. She does things by the book. And I think the great thing that you get to see with Sarah is that she eventually, when the shit hits the fan, she lets her hair down and she says, look, the book isn't going to cut it. I need to do what my instinct and what my gut says to do. And because she has such an amazing mentor, Arnold Schwarzenegger's character, Sheriff Ray Owens, she, you know, becomes courageous and she says, I can do this. I can do this. I have a team. I'm not by myself. I have a team. I can do this. And I think it's such an amazing arc for a woman to have and say, you know what, I am strong. I am going to lead this brigade. There is a scene where he spins his Suburban in the 360 and the door pops open and I have to throw one of my comrades into the truck, jump into it as it's doing a 360 and hold on with my legs hanging out. And I did that myself. I did all my own stunts on this film and I had a blast. And I knew the fact was he was in that car and I said, I'm safe. I'm going to be okay. This man has more experience in action films than any other person I've ever met in my life. I completely trust him. He would never do anything to put me in harm's way, and sure enough, everything was great. That was an experience in itself. He's fantastic. He simplifies things. He's so animated. You know where you stand with him. If he needs something, he lets you know. He's so collaborative. He gives you extra takes if you want to try something different. I love his shots that he does. He doesn't just cut into close-ups to get out of a shot. He makes it actually happen, you know. I feel that the cheap way out nowadays in films is, okay, you know, if we ruin this shot, let's just cut into a close-up. We'll fix that with the scissors, you know. He doesn't do that. He draws a shot out for a good minute and a half, which one of the only other directors these days that I've seen do that is Kenneth Branagh. So I had a blast. I had a blast.